Life podcast. Okay, we're gonna start. I'll edit. What did I just do?
My goodness gracious.
All right.
Oh,
Hello, Disney friends. Welcome to episode 11 of the Park Life podcast. I am Janelle. I am in the parks 4 to 5 times a week, and I'd like to bring you all the things that happen inside the park. And I am with my co host.
hello, everybody. I'm Mike. I'm a travel planner that specializes in all things Disney. So Janelle brings the inside the park, local living in Orlando experience, and I bring all of the planning, strategizing, things like that. And Janelle, you said 4 to 5 times a week. I think sometimes it probably feels like it's 45 times a week.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I should just say I'm in the parks a lot.
Exactly. So we today are going to talk about something that we get asked a lot about
We do.
when we chat with folks, and that is what to pack to go to Disney.
Yeah.
And I think primarily most of this it's stuff, if you're hopping on a plane to fly or you're driving down there, it's most of it's stuff you're going to want to buy, or if you have on hand, pack to take with you. But a lot of this is going to be, what am I packing for my park days, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
there are things you absolutely have to make it through your park day successfully without having to go back and forth to your resort to get stuff.
Right.
So, with that in mind, you kind of take a step backward slightly, and the concept of what to pack in general. If you want to get the most out of the experience, you want to make sure that you pack everything you need so that you're making it more affordable. A lot of the stuff we're going to mention you can buy down there, but you're paying a premium price.
Right.
So you want to pack everything that you can and make it as affordable as possible. You also want to make sure you leave room in that suitcase for souvenirs, because we all want to bring stuff home with us. So what to pack and how to pack smartly is really important to be successful with your trip.
Right. So I'm going to say that I will probably be more of an expert at what to park for the park. I don't know. Are we going to talk about Mike's going to be the expert on what to pack in your bag to get yourself here? Don't
Yeah,
know.
I think a lot of what we'll probably focus on in the park
Yeah.
stuff, which
Okay.
again they're gonna have to go in your suitcase when you
Yeah.
leave. Then we can step back and high level talk about packing in general for your trip.
I would say the first thing maybe would start at home before you get your suitcase out and maybe get a packing list. That might help. I'm
Absolutely.
sure there's things to download online and people have what to pack just so you know you're putting everything in your suitcase.
Or to save you time, we'll pause for 30 seconds, grab pen and paper,
Oh, there you
and
go.
your packing list based on what we're talking about today.
Okay. And we're not going to pause. You can hit the pause button and go get your pen
Right.
and paper and then
Right.
come back and join us.
Yes. Don't twist an ankle running to the kitchen or wherever to get pen and paper. We don't want any packing injuries before you start packing.
No, no. Okay. So we have our pen and paper. We have everything um ready to go. Okay, Mike, what's going to be first on our list to pack?
Well, it's only first because I wrote it down first. These are
Okay.
priority order, but you want to certainly make sure that you pack. I'm going to point at mine. Pack your cell phone and all portable charging banks, fuel rods, whatever you utilize, and make sure you bring the cords too.
Mhm.
If you're staying at Disney on property, the resorts, they've done a great job in recent remodels to make sure there are plenty of USB ports. So could you get a bank that has 3 or 4 ports and charge multiple devices? Absolutely. Do you need that? Not necessarily. They have multiple USB ports inside each of the resorts, but you want that portable charging bank for when you're in the park.
Yep.
So bring the cords, and bring your phone.
Okay.
That was one thing on my list. What's one on yours? We'll go back and forth like a tennis match here.
Okay. Okay. Um I would say well, lightweight clothing. If you're coming in the summer, lightweight clothing. If you're coming in the winter, you're probably already going to have your coat, your sweatshirt, your stuff that maybe you're wearing. So, I don't know, bring clothing that is applicable to the time of year.
Yes, absolutely. And even if it's, I'm going to air quote here, the cold season.
Yeah.
When you come to the Midwest, there's no such thing as a cold season in Florida. But um, pack pack layers.
Yeah.
You can still, wear a short sleeve shirt and have a sweatshirt or a light jacket with you. Certainly, if you're from a northern climate, when it's in the 60s in Florida in January, look, I'm golfing in back home if it's 60 degrees in January, trust me. So you don't necessarily have to bring the winter coat and things like that, but layers are probably the best way to go because it's easier to shed one as the park day warms up. So
Okay.
that's a good call on layers, lightweight clothing. So we're in the middle of summer in Florida. This is not breaking news. It's hot down there. It's humid down there. It rains a little bit, usually almost every day. Although Florida's kind of in a drought season right now, at least in the Orlando area. But if you got heavier clothing on and it rains, that you weigh 5 pounds more until your clothes dry out. So
Right.
lightweight clothing, and you can layer up, layer down as necessary. That's a good call.
Okay.
So staying with the fact that it is summertime and it's hot, to help combat that when you're in the parks, pack and bring cooling towels with you.
There you go.
Go get them wet inside the park and wrap around your neck. It'll help immensely.
Okay. Well, I am going to go what you need to put your cooling towel in. Don't forget your backpack,
All right, very good. I had that on my list, and what I wrote down was backpack or sling bag or cinch bag,
whatever.
something that you can carry your stuff in, because you don't. I mean, yeah, your cooling towel will be around your neck most of the time, but if you're going to go into an air conditioned exhibit for 30 minutes, you may want to take that off. And so, as
Yeah.
Janelle said, you want to have somewhere to put that. Same thing with your charging bank that you're going to
Yep.
bring in the park with you and your cord. I certainly don't want to carry that around in my hand all day, and I don't want to put it in my shorts pockets either. So
Yeah.
having that backpack is a great call. I'm gonna where I thought you were gonna go when I mentioned the cooling towels, and you said something. Put them in on my list is Ziploc bags.
Okay.
So you don't want to throw your wet cooling towel inside your backpack amongst your other stuff and get that other stuff all wet. um, you want to have something to put that in to conceal it and keep it away. So Ziploc bags for your cooling towels is ideal to have. There's another reason to have a Ziploc bag, and it's for something else that you want to make sure you're packed. So I don't want to give it away yet because it's your turn for something else to pack.
Poncho.
Bingo! Thank you. I was hoping you got there with me. Uh, where the heck do I have ponchos on my list? There it is. Um, I said it earlier, it rains every day. So your poncho is going to get put on, it's going to get wet. You don't want to stuff it in your backpack and let everything else get wet. So
Okay.
another reason for that Ziploc bag is the poncho. Good call.
Okay.
I'm glad we were connecting. That's
I
good.
know. Look at us go.
So in the same vein as poncho, if you're not a poncho wearing kind of person, you can pack a little mini umbrella. And
Yeah.
again, you can get the small mini umbrellas that are no more than about 6, 8 inches long. That can also fit inside a Ziploc bag if you pack
Yeah.
big gallon size bags. Um, so mini umbrella, again, if you're not a poncho wearing person, even if you are a poncho wearing person, a mini umbrella is not necessarily a bad thing to have,
Yeah, I agree.
especially if it's super duper sunny out. It's a great option to kind of just cover yourself up, if you will, from the blazing sun.
Right.
So,
Okay.
so I went umbrella. What's next on your bingo card?
Comfortable shoes.
Yes, and go with comfortable shoes. They can't just be comfy; they need to be broken in.
Getting broken in.
Absolutely, because you can buy a brand new pair of shoes and they're like walking on clouds
Yeah.
until you start walking 10, 12 miles in a day at Disney,
Right.
and then it feels like you're wearing sandpaper inside your shoes.
Right. Right.
So we always tell folks, make sure your shoes are well broken in. Do that at home. And I can tell you from my experience, a year ago, May, when we were there, I had brought two pairs of shoes with me that one of them I'd had for 2, 3 years. They couldn't
Right.
be broken in. I got blisters from those shoes. So with that in mind, thing I have on my list would be band-aids slash blister pads or mule skin, something like that. Your feet and your blisters will thank you.
Okay.
What do you got next?
Hand sanitizer or wipes.
Perfect. That's on my list as well.
Okay.
I'm waiting to have one of us say one that the other one's like, "Huh, I didn't think of that."
Okay. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to stick with the. It's hot out, so neck fan is a great option. I should have grabbed it. I have one somewhere around here, but those nice little ones that'll go around and they just kind of
Yep.
blow it. Yeah, those are wonderful to have for the grown children, grown adults. I didn't have it on my list, but I think of it. If you got littles in a stroller, get the little clip-on fans to clip on the stroller so the air is blowing.
Or misting. Those kids love the misting fans.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
They're squirting. I always joke when I'm there. I don't mind being hit by a fan when I'm walking through the park and it's hot. And the little kids, the parents will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. I'm loving this."
Yes, not sorry, it's thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. All right, what else you got?
Okay, I have a prop for this autograph book.
Yes. An autograph book is essential if you want to get autographs from the characters. Now, the one that Janelle shared is,
Yes.
in my mind, is a really good one to have. It's small in nature, it's
Yeah.
not heavy in weight, and you can leave it just like it is with your signatures and display it. You could take that back home, and each of those little separate tags with the autographs, you could put those into a photo album
Yeah.
uh, or something along those lines. So convenient. Um, to go along with that, if you have the photo or the signature book of nature, you want to have something that the characters can sign with. And depending upon how creative you want to be, you can just use a black Sharpie and call it a day. You can have multiple colors of pens or Sharpies, what have you, so that
Right.
Mickey signing in red and Donald signing in blue and Goofy signing in orange. And I'm going to
Right.
remember the colors that are associated with characters, but you kind of get the gist. So, absolutely,
Okay.
it's a great call with the signature book. Love it. I didn't actually have that one on my list.
Oh, wow, look at that.
I know.
You asked and I provided. You
Absolutely.
didn't.
It's amazing. I'm going to just stay back up at the top of my list. Bringing your own water bottle into
Oh,
the
good
park.
one.
And if you do a little research, you can find on Amazon collapsible water bottles so that when it's not full and you're walking around, it's a little bit smaller in nature. But Disney offers free ice water at all of their quick service
Yeah.
stands. It's just a little bitty cup. It's not very big, maybe 3, 4 inches tall with ice water in it. You can ask for two of them and dump that into your water bottle. And
Yep.
if you're using, I'm not going to name brands, but one of those insulated water bottles, that ice water will stay cold for hours, even in the summer there. So
Yeah.
great option to have for sure. And if you don't bring one, please, please, please take advantage of the free ice water. A, it will help you stay hydrated and healthy, and B, it will save you money.
Okay.
All right, what do you have next?
Um, so maybe because this is me, so I was just thinking of like myself and what's one thing I always forget. And I think this goes back to winter time. Not necessarily because I think we always remember it in the summertime, but maybe the winter, you're not thinking to bring your bathing suit because
Hmm,
you're like thinking theme parks, we're going to be in the park, we're this, that, and the other. I always forget my bathing suit. And I'm like, especially if it's winter, you're not thinking like, oh, I can go to Florida and I can go in the pool in December or January. So just don't want anybody to forget the bathing suit.
that's a great call out in a couple different ways, especially if you got littles,
Yeah,
2-year-old, 3 or 4-year-old. Have them in their swimsuit at the parks. There's some different splash pad areas within the park. I remember when our kids were little, we didn't have swimsuits on them, and their clothes were soaking wet, and they had to
yeah,
just walk around in wet clothes until they dried. So that's a great call out. From the swimming perspective, the resort pools in the bubble are all heated in the winter. So
yep,
even if it's 50 degrees out, the pool water's mid 80s or whatever it is. I can tell you, I remember sitting in the reclining chairs, the lawn chairs, whatever, at the pool in January with sweatpants on, a sweatshirt on, and towels on top of me because it was chilly out, and my boys were having a heyday in the pool for a couple hours. So bring a
right.
swimsuit regardless of what time of year. That's a great call. I love that one. And since we're going to bring our swimsuit,
Okay.
make sure you bring suntan lotion.
There you go.
Regardless of what time of year, the Florida sun is hot and
Right.
it will do a number on your skin. I am a person who tans pretty easily. It doesn't matter. Make sure you bring your sunscreen and make sure you reapply it multiple times throughout the day. If you're there in the summer, um, from about the moment you wake up, you start sweating because it's hot. So having the suntan lotion and putting it on multiple times throughout the day will help save your vacation. The last thing you want to do is get crispy like a lobster on day one, because day two through whatever are going to be hard days. So bring your sunscreen. And Janelle will tell you from a sunscreen perspective what kind of SPF factor is
Oh,
recommended.
I feel you're in Florida. You should be wearing nothing 50 you or less. Like you do not wear anything below 50. The UV index is always very, very high, even in December. So just protect yourself.
Absolutely. All right, you're up. What do you got next?
I am bringing my lanyard for my pin trading.
Nice. That's a great call. I love that one. Um, I will say, this is for all the parents out there. If your children want to pin trade, let them do it. It's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
especially littles, they get into that and enjoy it. The thing that I missed in preparation for it was the fact that that lanyard with 20 pins is
Ways.
heavy, heavy, heavy.
Yes.
And guess who's not carrying it?
Yeah.
Guess who is carrying it? So
Right.
yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. And so that that sucker got heavy pretty quick. But
Yeah.
yeah, love that. Lanyard for pins. There are other ways that there are pin books, things like that,
Yeah.
towels you can pin the pins on, whatever. So that's a fun experience and a good call. I'm gonna go back to my sunscreen. And while you've brought it and you've applied it, you're probably still going to get a little pinkish, possibly. So bring aloe vera with you.
Okay.
The end of the day, when you get back to your resort or your Airbnb or wherever you're staying, Aunt Sally's house, whatever, little aloe vera, put it on. Your skin will be good as new the next day.
Okay. My turn.
Yes,
Uh, Medications. Do not forget your medications. It doesn't matter from Tylenol to something that's been prescribed to you and you need on a daily basis. Medications, Pepto, Tylenol, bunion cream, whatever it is. Don't forget your medication.
absolutely. I had that on my list. So Tylenol, Pepto, things like that. If you don't bring them, Disney sells them, but again, you're going to pay a premium
Yeah.
for them. Your prescribed medications. There's two comments I want to make on that. First off, I'll make this simple. If it's 2 pills a day that you take, and you're going to be there for 5 days, don't bring 10 pills. Bring 12 or 14 pills.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, yes, you could lose one and need an extra, but if by chance your flight gets canceled and you have to stay an additional day, or you choose to extend your vacation for some reason or another, you'll have a couple days extra medication with you. That's very important to do. The other comment that I'd make is if your medication is something that needs to be refrigerated,
Yeah.
each of the four Disney parks has a first aid station. They will refrigerate your medication for you. So take advantage of that. And since I mentioned first aid, take advantage of the first aid stations. If you
Yeah.
don't have band aids, you don't have moleskin, you don't have Tylenol, you don't have Pepto, and you're feeling a need for one of those things when you're in the park, they'll help you out. They're there for that. If you're struggling with the heat and feeling a little exhausted, they'll take care of you there. They've got private rooms you can cool off in. Take advantage of those stations. Very good. Um, so medication was yours. So my turn again.
Yep.
Um, lip balm, which kind of ties in with sunscreen. I don't think I've ever put sunscreen on my lips. So lip balm, make sure whether it's chapstick, whatever it is, with SPF in it, um, keep your lips from chapping and burning.
Yep.
All right, what do you got?
Snacks.
Yes. Snacks should have been the first thing on my list.
Snacks should have been the first thing, but I think it goes right up there with the water bottle. Disney lets you bring in your own water and your own food. So, littles, and this is not even for littles. I need snacks every day. My husband is so kind, and he packs my snacks, little Ziploc bags filled with nuts or goldfish or crackers, whatever it is. If it's what your kids or you eat at home, bring it with you. Make it normal. You don't have to, maybe you can splurge on something in the park, but save money, save time from standing in lines for snacks, and just pack it in your bag.
Absolutely. That's a great call. I had that. So, in conjunction with snacks, you can bring cooler bags into the parks. You can't bring big coolers on wheels that you're dragging in, but the cooler bags that look like backpacks, whatever, you can absolutely bring those. You cannot have what they define as loose ice in those. Loose ice meaning if I open up the bag and tipped it, ice cubes would come falling out. That's loose ice. You can absolutely put ice cubes inside of Ziploc bags and put the Ziploc bags in your coolers. So you can bring your drinks. If you've got juice boxes for the kids, if you've got
Yep.
um, granola bars that have chocolate chips in them, and you don't want that melted all over the place, you can put those in your cooler bags, things like that. So that is a good option that ties in with snacks and drinks. Awesome.
Okay. You're next.
No, I just said cooler bags. Your turn.
Oh, you said cooler bags. Okay. I'm going to say don't forget your stroller.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
Don't forget
Um,
your stroller, because you need to be able to put your bags in something. No, it ends up being a lot to carry around, and it could be, but it should get lighter as the day goes on. So, but if you're gonna, you can rent strollers. But if you want your own stroller and everything, just I guess don't forget to bring it. Don't think that you can't bring your own stroller either.
right.
So,
So, spoiler alert, next podcast, we're going to talk about rentals. So, we'll talk
yeah.
about strollers. So, if you're wondering, Janelle said you can rent them there. Stay tuned for the next podcast. We'll talk all about that.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to go sunglasses.
Okay.
Sun is blinding at times. Bring your sunglasses with you, help protect your eyes. Um, Important to have.
Okay.
Your turn.
uh, I'm gonna go hats, visors.
That was on my list as well. If you're somebody like me who has glasses, probably maybe not wearing sunglasses, so a hat or visor is a nice alternate solutions to sunglasses. Also, if you have a dome like mine, wearing a hat in that hot summer sun can help prevent your head from being scorched.
Okay.
There. Let's see here. Next on my bingo card, we've kind of talked maybe briefly about how it's hot there in the summer. So bringing like an anti-chafing stick with you. You'll thank yourself through a hot, sticky, humid day of and maybe waterize where your clothes get wet and then they dry. So an anti-chafing stick is a great thing to bring along with.
Okay. I wouldn't have thought of that.
All right. What do you got next?
I'm gonna say um, Disney does a great job of providing in the resorts and in the parks soaps and everything. But if you have littles that, need tear-free shampoos and all of that, don't forget your own travel size shampoos and conditioners and just soaps if you need something specific in your rooms.
Yeah, good call out. Um, if you don't need something specific,
Yeah,
this was on my do not pack. If you don't need something specific, don't pack shampoo
I
or conditioner
agree.
or
I
body wash.
agree. They provide great shampoos.
Yeah, absolutely. So that can save you a little packing space.
Yeah,
Again, if you don't need something special, but Janelle's call out was if you got littles, bringing that tear free shampoo is a good
yeah.
thing for
You
them.
just don't want to get stuck there and then you have a whole, soap in the eye situation when you're trying to go to bed at night.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so since we just mentioned littles, an air tag or air tags is kind of a
Mhm.
nice thing to bring along with. Maybe you can put an air tag inside your child's clothing. Look, they're kids. As adults, we wander off, they wander off.
Yep,
Things can happen. So having an air tag on your child's not a bad thing. Having an air tag on their stroller is not a bad thing because multiple times throughout your park day, you're going to leave that stroller somewhere while you go ride a ride or see a show or whatever the case may be. So
right.
air tag's not a bad thing to bring along with you.
Okay. I'm at the end of what I don't have anymore, so I'm stretching here. Don't forget your family or your friends.
Well,
Just don't forget them. Don't let it be a Home Alone situation.
that was not on my list. I promise you
Not
that.
on your bingo
Not on my
card.
bingo card. Now, one that I'm surprised you didn't have, if you have them, and I never bring the stuff with me, but if you already own magic bands,
Oh yeah, magic
make sure you
bands.
pack your magic bands. I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, I got to the resort and I left my magic bands at home, so I had to buy new ones. So bring your magic bands.
Okay.
Um, since you're stretching here, I'll let you keep stretching. Um, I'm a tennis shoe wearing person. I don't wear flip flops or sandals or slides. I'm a tennis shoe person. It's hot. Your feet are going to sweat. You're going to ride a water ride. You're going to walk through the splash area, whatever the case may be. Bring an extra pair of socks. It doesn't take up a lot of room in your bag, and they're feather light. So pack an extra pair of socks to get you through your park day, because otherwise you're going to add to the blister situation if you're walking around in wet shoes with wet socks all day.
Okay.
Um, this last thing I have on my list before I have a few do not pack items, and then we'll talk about kind of packing in general. This isn't to bring into the park, um, but ties into snacks that Janelle mentioned, for
Okay.
instance. Look into doing grocery delivery. When you get to a resort, you can have groceries delivered to your resort. Um, I mean, have we packed 2 dozen granola bars or Pop Tarts in our suitcase? Absolutely we have. If you're
Yeah.
running shy on suitcase space, you can do grocery delivery, bottles of water, orange juice, whatever it is you want to have in your resort room in the mornings to take to the parks, whatever the case may be. Grocery delivery is a great option for you.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through a list of things that I wrote down that are do not pack.
Okay.
Take that with a grain of salt, and I'll kind of allude to that. We already mentioned shampoo, conditioner, body wash. If you're not allergic to anything or need
Right.
special type of stuff, don't pack those things. Disney provides it in all other resorts. Now, if you're staying off property, you'll have to
Yep.
look at what your Airbnb provides, and you may have to pack. But if you're staying in the bubble, and you're okay with whatever shampoo, body wash, conditioner, use Disney's. Likewise, you don't need to pack towels. Disney provides towels in their resorts. They provide towels at the pools. Save the space. And frankly, you may end up buying a Disney towel at one of the parks anyway because your kid fell in love with the Mickey Mouse, towel or whatever it may be.
Right.
So
Right.
no need to pack those. Um, this one is kind of I could go either way on it, but I would say there's no need to pack bug spray. It's a
Yeah, I
tropical
agree.
area, and you would assume there are bugs every place, but man, Disney does a great job in their parks of taking care of the bug challenges that you face elsewhere.
Yeah.
I've never gotten back to my resort and been bit up with bugs, so I don't ever pack bug spray.
Okay.
If you got littles with you, do not pack life jackets. They provide life jackets at your resorts for the pools for littles that need them. There's no reason to pack life jackets.
Okay.
And I know Janelle mentioned strollers, and if you have a stroller that you want to bring, you can bring it with you and bring it to the parks. Do not pack wagons. Disney does not allow wagons into the parks on a general basis. Now, there could be circumstances if it's needed from a medical standpoint that Disney might tag it and allow you to bring it in. You won't know until you bring the wagon to the
Yeah.
main gate of the park and have them inspect it for them to decide whether it's a yay or nay. If it's a nay, you got to go back to your resort and take that wagon back. So if at all possible, don't bring wagons. Don't pack them. Don't bring them.
Okay.
So now let's talk in general terms before we wrap up here. What to pack? Obviously, you want to have an outfit for each day at the parks. You can be as clever as you want and have shirts that are themed for each of the parks. A lot of people do matching shirts for their families. If you're going to do those, make sure every family member's matching shirt got packed. You don't want Aunt Sally out there with not a shirt on that matches everybody else. Unless Aunt Sally's taking the photo of everybody, then I suppose it's okay. Um, but so if you're going to be there for 6 days, don't pack just six outfits. Something's going to get spilled on you. You're going to get hot and sweaty and go back to your resort and want to change, whatever the case may be. And I mentioned this with medications. Your flight gets canceled and you're there for an additional
Yeah.
day. Pack an extra day or two outfits. Now, you can do laundry at the resorts. They have laundry facilities. And if you want to pack super duper light and you're going to have a resort day in the middle of your 6 day stay and you don't mind
Yeah.
wearing the same outfit twice in your trip, then pack four outfits and do laundry midway through. And then you have four clean outfits to wear for the rest of your trip. Um, I always recommend bringing at least two pair of shoes. And I said early on, I'm a tennis shoe wearing person only. I don't do sandals or flip flops, what have you. Do two different tennis shoes. And when I say two different tennis shoes, I don't just mean two different shoes, but I try to pack two different brands. If I have like a pair of Nike and a pair of Under Armour, just to throw out brands, I will do that because shoe manufacturers fit differently on your feet, which
Okay.
means they're going to rub in a different spot each day, and switch off every day with a different pair of shoes so that what rubbed on me on Monday isn't rubbing on me on Tuesday, and vice versa. I think that's a good way to go. If you are a sandal wearing person, I would still bring two different types of shoes
Yeah.
because your sandals might rub on a spot on day one and you can wear something different on day two. We talked about medication and making sure you pack that. That's incredibly important. If it's prescription medication, can you probably get something to help out? Maybe wouldn't be probably the day you arrive. It might be a day or two later that you could get something to you. So make sure you've packed that. We talked about magic bands and making sure you have those. Um, if you've got your itinerary printed out, things like that, make sure those are in your bag as well. Um, if you're intent on bringing souvenirs home, make sure you've packed extra space in your suitcase or packed a duffel bag or something like that that you can put souvenirs into to carry back on when you get back to the airport to fly home. If you're driving or flying and you've got littles, bring things with you that your littles can be entertained by on the car ride or entertained by at the airport or in the airplane, that sort of thing as well. We talked about portable chargers and your phones. If you have cameras, bring your cameras. If the cameras utilize batteries, bring in an extra pair or extra set of batteries just in case. Now, if it's something that you can charge, make sure you have your charging cords, that sort of stuff. We can probably go on and on and on about different things to pack. Um, Pack your patience and relax, enjoy it. If you forgot to pack something, in my experiences, one of two things will happen. Either Disney will have it and you can buy it, or at the end of your trip, you're going to say, I actually didn't need that after all, and I survived
Right.
without it.
Exactly.
So enjoy your trip. Don't overthink everything. Um, yes, there are certain things you could pack on a Disney trip that you wouldn't pack if you were going to see Yellowstone or whatever. But for the most part, it's general common sense things to pack.
All right. I think the list was absolutely perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the thing. Everybody might have their own different items that they bring every time or their needs. And so take this as a just a general guide. And like Mike said, pack your fun and your patience,
Yeah,
and it'll be a great trip.
that's right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Um, I am Disney Parks with Love on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And Mike is in all those locations as.
I am Mike underscore Disney Travel.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Catch you later.
Bye. Bye bye.